Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the MikeWagnerShow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen at Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with a wonderful lady from Nashville, Tennessee. She's a singer, songwriter, guitarist, and she's got an album that she put out in 2017 and currently working on a second one, and kind of just conjuring up images of old Nashville when you get to hear. She sang with Maren Morris, Old Dominion, Michael Ray, David Nail, Dylan Scott, Lone Star, and many more. She warmed up the fans for Garth Brooks and Zac Brown Band. I mean, this is just an amazing performer, and once you get to hear her live, you'll think back to good old country as well. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the beautiful Music City, ladies and gentlemen, the next Nashville superstar, Chelsey Carter. Chelsey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. What an introduction. Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's what you get when we have nothing to bear to do, but we'll give us something to do. So we'll get you up and going here. You're working on a second album. You've been a singer, songwriter, artist, guitarist for quite some time, and you sang with Maren Morris, Old Dominion, Michael Ray, David Nail, Dylan Scott, Lone Star, more. You also warmed up the fans for Garth Brooks and Zac Brown Band. And before we get into all that and your second album, tell us how you got started.
I can't really pinpoint anything. I can remember growing up and driving around the car with my mom and, doing car karaoke to Shania, Twain, and Bruce Springsteen and all the oldies but goodies. And I just kind of always knew that this was something that I wanted to get into, and performing was something that I was kind of meant to do. So it just kind of matriculated from there. And here we are today, still doing it and loving every second.
I can imagine you singing to karaoke to Bruce Springsteen and Shania as well, too. And have you got involved in any like say with the talent shows, or say taking any learn from any music greats or anything like that? It sounds like you just kind of jumped in from karaoke to what you're doing right now.
I kind of did. I was in some bands growing up in high school and all that. And then I went to school for classical voice, actually, which doesn't really relate to what I'm doing now, but it was still great training. And I just went to a lot of shows, a lot of concerts. I just kind of studied what everybody else was doing. And between that and me just kind of naturally figuring it out for myself through experience, I kind of paved my own way.
Mm-hmm. And who would you say the best concert you ever seen was?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, I've cried at a handful of concerts because they were so moving for me. But if I had to kind of pinpoint it down, I saw Elton John with my mom when I was in college. And Elton John is another one of my favorites. I cried for the first 30 minutes of that show because I couldn't handle how amazing it was being there. So that's embarrassing, but now everyone knows. So welcome to my life. Another great one, I got to go Shania Twain. I saw her last year for her little reunion, and it was amazing. Actually, it might have been 2 years ago now. I wish it was last year, but I think it might have been 2.
Oh, wow. And they're all in Nashville when you saw these guys?
No. So I went to school in Providence. So Elton John was downtown Providence, Rhode Island. And then Shania Twain, I saw her with my mom in Boston.
Oh, wow.
I'm originally from Boston, so I go up to that area pretty frequently. And
you're originally from Boston. Okay, because I thought you came from Nashville. So what was the one moment that influenced you going from the Providence, Boston area over to Nashville?
So I was playing in Boston multiple nights a week, but it was mostly cover songs, which is really great. I got a lot of experience playing live, but I kind of had this like missing piece like in my soul, as stupid as that sounds. But I just kind of wanted to start writing more, and I wanted to start putting out my own music and playing more of my own songs. And I just kind of felt like Nashville was the place to do that, like it's the heart of songwriters in the USA. So I packed up, came down here, made some friends, met some people, and we're still just pushing along.
That is amazing as well, too. And of course, you're doing some songwriting and lyric writing and everything else. What do you base mainly your lyrics on? Like, say, about like your personal life or something happened to you, some good times, or maybe some events that went out in the world these days. So what do you base most of your lyrics on?
Yeah, so 90% of my lyrics are very personal. It's things that have happened to me or things that I want to say, kind of thing. I use songwriting as a way to kind of send a message, if you will. So, I like the sound of my own voice, but no one wants to listen to me talk. So if you put it in a song, then they listen to that and you get to say what you want to
say. and of course, we got one of your songs coming up as well, too. But who are some other favorite artists and singers growing up?
Okay, so Vince Gill has been another one of my favorites. Also for the singing, he's got a voice that is just silky as butter, but his guitar playing also has really kind of shaped who I am as a musician. Just like that twangy fast picking that he does, and like One More Last Chance and like Oklahoma Borderline is just, it just speaks to me. And then I also grew up in the 90s and 2000s, so boy bands were a big part of it. Britney Spears was a big part of it. You might not know it from my music, but I still listen to Millennium, the Backstreet Boys album, pretty frequently. So
wow,
it's a big old mixed bag.
And of course, you talk about guitars as well, too, of being, Vince Gill, part of that group. And who are some of your favorite guitarists growing up?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so guitarists. So I started off with Bruce Springsteen, obviously, because he was right from the beginning of my childhood. And then actually sidebarring for a second, Bruce Springsteen led me to saxophone for Clarence Clemens. I pretty much wanted to be him when I was younger.
Oh, love Clarence Clemens.
Oh my gosh, just amazing artist. But I kind of started going back towards guitar again because I realized that it was not super easy to sing and play saxophone, and I wanted to do two things at once, so guitar came back along. Brent Mason, honestly, has been another big one for me. I'm really into like fast playing and like quick fingers, but in a way that's also melodic and has some substance, if that makes sense. So I think there's some beauty in players that can play really fast, but then they know when to play fast and they know when to take it down. They know when not to play at all. And I learned a lot of those skills from Brent Mason and Vince Gill.
Wow, that is something, too. And we'll also play one of your songs as well, too, from your debut, and we'll talk about your second album. But first, you listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. And also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with singer, songwriter, guitarist Chelsey Carter, originally from the New England area, coming to Nashville, just doing her work, strutting her stuff, and she has nothing better to do. Well, I'm just kidding. She does have something better to do. Here's the title track from her debut EP going back a couple of years, Nothing Better to Do, Chelsey Carter, right here on the Mike Wagner Show.
Could have mowed the lawn, but hell, what's one more week? Could have crawled under the sink to fix that leak. Could have washed that pile of dirty clothes behind the bathroom door, but none of that was as exciting as the things you found next door. Do you remember when you said you played for keeps? And that's why I ain't gotta worry about a thing. I guess being with me was just another chore, and you had nothing better to do than the girl next door. Did you knock, or do you have a key? Well, either way, you can go ahead and give mine back to me. You better hope she'll take you in like a stray dog off the street. Well, she can scratch behind your ears until the next time that you cheat. Do you remember when you said you played for keeps? And that's why I ain't gotta worry about a thing. You say men like you were just meant to explore, and I guess you found nothing better to do than the girl next door. Do you remember when you said you played for keeps? And that's why I ain't gotta worry about a thing. I guess being with me was just another chore, and you had nothing better to do than the girl next door. Yeah, you found nothing better to do than the girl next door.
Nothing better to do. Chelsey Carter, the title track here on the Mike Wagner Show. And tell us more about that album and the title track, Chelsey.
Yeah, so Nothing Better to Do was my first EP that I put out. So I was really excited, first off, because it was really my first step into songwriting. And Nothing Better to Do in particular, this song actually kind of stems from a true story in a sense that, you know, I've been cheated on a handful of times, but you know, I was just joking around. It's actually funny. I'm going to go into the full story because it's funnier this way. But I was actually talking to a guy's parents who the guy ended up cheating on me later. But this was beforehand. And I was just joking around. And I was talking about a different guy. And I was like, yeah, you know, he just had nothing better to do than like this chick, you know, wherever. And that's where that line kind of came from. And then it ended up working out that it ended up being about their son. So, you know, funny the way the world works sometimes.
And it sounds like it did have something to do as well, too. And, of course, that's being heard all over streaming as well, too. And you're working on a second album. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I am, yeah. So my second album, when I moved to Nashville, I spent the first 2 years just working on songwriting. I was not worried about putting any music out. I was just songwriting and just playing as much as I can because I was trying to hone my craft as much as I could. So the second EP that I am going to be releasing is super exciting because I think that it is some of the best work that I've ever done, and I think it paints my picture better as an artist. The first EP was amazing. I'm always going to be proud of it. I'll always love it. But I don't feel that it fully encapsulates who I am. And I think a lot more of my personality is going to be coming out in these songs. But it's still that same quirk that the last album had. And there's a lot more different topics explored too. So this album is much more a biography of my life and, feelings that I'm having and whatnot. So I'm really excited for y'all to hear it.
And when do we expect the release of the second album?
So hopefully this spring. Currently we're running a Kickstarter to try to help fund it. That'll be ending in February. So, March. It's February now. Duh. But
okay.
That shows how out of whack I am. I need a nap.
or a coffee maybe or something. Or a drink?
Man, dude, coffee puts me to sleep. I know that's super strange, but I take a nap right after I drink coffee.
Oh, really? Okay, I have to remind myself not to give you a coffee, maybe a Budweiser or a Jack
coffee.
or something.
Hey, you know what? Budweiser's always going to be a good call.
There you go. And, of course, you had some fun up on stage, too. You sang with Mary Morris, Old Dominion, Michael Ray, David Nail, Dylan Scott, Lone Star, and others. Just tell us about some of the people you sang with and what's it like and who was like the best one you've sang with?
Yeah, so I have been lucky enough to be involved in shows that include some pretty big names, as you just said. I couldn't tell you how I got them. I just got real lucky and got very fortunate that I was asked. But they were all very different, which was super cool. So Mary Morris and Old Dominion and all of them were for a street party in Boston that was run by the local radio station, the country station, Country 102.5. And it was super cool because if you know anything about Boston, anything about the Red Sox, it was on Lansdowne Street, which is the big road that runs right next to Fenway. So they closed down that entire street and they had a festival all day long.
Wow.
Just country music. And it was just the coolest thing ever. House of Blues is on that street. There's a bunch of bars, just like classic little bars. So it was amazing. And, naturally the whole time I'm thinking like, man, I'm playing at Fenway, which really I'm playing outside of Fenway. But, it's details. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story kind of thing.
When you played over at Fenway, was that the year the Red Sox won the World Series? I think that was, what was it?
Was it?
14, 15, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been. I'm going to be honest. I'm a hockey fan myself, so I don't know a ton about the Red Sox, which don't tell my Boston people that. Boston is a very
keep
proud
it a secret.
city.
Okay, Patriot fans?
Yeah, right. Well, don't get me on the bus with them either, because I don't pay any attention to football.
I'm kidding. Or you could play at the TD Waterhouse as well. I'm still used to call it the Boston Garden. I don't know why. So,
I mean, everybody calls it the Garden still, so you're not out of the loop at all.
Right, yeah. And, of course, you also warmed up for Garth Brooks and Zach Brown Band. And just tell us what's it like, being with Garth Brooks and Zach Brown.
So it was super cool. So I wasn't actually with them. I played in the venue before them. So it technically was not an opener. But, every single fan that went into that show passed where we were playing. So it was super cool, because no one was expecting us to be there, and every single person stopped and hung out with us for a bit. So, and there's just so much community with both of those bands. Garth Brooks is such an icon that his fans have been around forever, and same with Zach Brown. He hasn't been around quite as long as Garth Brooks, but they both have the same kind of inclusive vibe, and just some of the nicest people are going to those shows. So we met a lot of people. We made a lot of good connections that ended up actually leading to more gigs down the line. And then it was just, it was the experience. We got to go watch the shows after, and it was just the coolest.
Nice. Okay. And I think I know why people are calling you to play, because they think you have nothing better to do. That is a very
Exactly.
Or you could do a nothing better to do part 2 or part 2, saying that, hey, what are you doing? You have nothing better to do? Come play and do something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's what I figured, It's like, if people think I'm bored, I'm going to be the one they call.
There you go. And of course, speaking of big plans, we'll talk about what's ahead for 2020 and more. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. We're here with singer-songwriter guitarist Chelsey Carter from the New England area, now in Nashville. And of course, she had nothing better to do in 2017 but play the title track, and you can hear it all over, and led to something better to do with working on a second album. She sang with Mary Morris, Old Dominion, Michael Ray, David Nail, Dylan Scott, and more. Warmed up for fans for Garth Brooks and Zach Brown, and just an amazing future that she has. And, speaking of amazing, what do you have plans for 2020, and any upcoming plans for a possible tour in 2020?
So that's actually what I was just going to say. Yeah, 2020 is just going to be a year of hustling and a year of touring for me. So I recently signed on with a manager and a booking agency, so they're kind of taking the reins with that. And we've got a few dates booked up in the New England area so far, but we're hoping to branch out nationally for the rest of the year, which once my album comes out, we'll start getting more dates in the books. And yeah, hopefully we'll be coming to wherever you guys are listening. All
right, that'd be great, too. And, of course, besides the New England area, and is there anywhere that you guys have plans as well, too, outside of New England?
Yes, so yeah, we're looking out at the West Coast, like Oregon, California area, obviously around Tennessee, our southern family in Georgia, Florida, and Kentucky, and then also Texas are big markets right now that we're looking to get into.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we can get all the information. We'll ask you where can we get the information on your website and everything else. And of course, in terms of being on stage and everything like that, or in music, what do you consider like your most defining moment or your funniest moment?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I don't know that I've had a funny moment in particular, like for myself, but I've seen a lot of things happen. Playing bars and stuff, I don't think people quite realize that they can, they're not the only ones looking at me. I can see every single one of them and everything that they're doing. So one of the funniest things that I remember happening was we were playing in this bar in Boston, and we were there every Saturday night for like 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And it was in like the basement level. So the ceiling was a little bit low, but, not low enough that you can't walk around. But there were some exposed beams and whatnot. And it got real crowded. Like it got sardine can style.
Oh my goodness.
In this bar. So, shoulder to shoulder, you got to kind of squeeze through to get wherever you're going. But we were in the middle of some song, and there's this guy trying to get through the crowd. He's got his beer above his head, trying not to spill it. And then next thing you know, it hits one of the beams and he dumps it on himself. And that was super funny. But what was even funnier is he didn't even notice that his entire beer got dumped on his head. He just kept walking and pretended that nothing happened.
and probably yelling, "Freebird!"
Oh, probably. Yeah. Freebird or Wagon Wheel. Wagon Wheel seems to be the new generation's Freebird.
I wouldn't be surprised, and maybe we can all sing that along with Freebird, make a medley or something.
Oh my gosh, just make an awful medley.
and of course,
that sounds terrible.
Well, maybe after a few beers, it won't be so terrible. And then
I don't know.
And also too, if you were to put together a band and you say pick any famous musician, like on drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, and everything, who would you choose as your ideal band and why?
Oh, are we going whole band or like one superstar?
It can be a whole band or one superstar at a time. It's your choice. Or you can mix them together.
All right, here we go. So, first off, Vince Gill would be my guitar player because, as I've said before, I'm casually obsessed with him. I think he's one of the greatest guitar players of all time. So he's got that lineup for lead guitar. I would also like to hire Britney Spears back in her 20s when she was younger in her prime to be a backup dancer because I don't dance, but I think dancing is beautiful. And I would like to have some of that on stage as a little visual aspect. And then Shania Twain has this drummer currently. Her name is Elijah Wood. She is amazing. She plays with the most energy that I have ever seen anybody play with. So she would be my pick for drums. And then, bass. Let's just see what we get. Let's throw a line out there and see what cool people we meet.
Bass players interested?
Yeah, who wants to come play?
There you go.
Join our superstar group.
All right, sounds good. I'm glad you got that all squared away here. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Ooh, biggest influence in my career. I don't think I can pinpoint one person. I think, as I've been saying, I have a lot of different influences for different reasons. So I don't really know that it would be fair to pick one person. Songwriting style, Shania Twain again has been a big one. Merle Haggard and Waylon have been big ones.
Oh, my favorites.
Oh my gosh, you just can't go wrong. They're amazing. Also, Willie Nelson too. Willie Nelson is just a superstar all around.
Oh, yes.
Just amazing. I saw him a few years back, and he played just as well as he did in his youth, and it blew me away. Because he came out all frail and rickety, and you're like, oh boy, this isn't going to be good. And then, of course, he blows everyone away.
And, of course, I remember I saw him in 1980, myself, and started with Whiskey River, ended with Whiskey River, and that's almost like his signature tune. I mean, I think he did, about maybe 40 songs in between that. That was a lot of songs, I'll tell you that. Well worth it.
Yeah, he goes for it. The other thing I love about him, too, is he's got a lot of family members in his band. Like, I think his sister or someone plays keys for him, and his son Lucas plays guitar with him a bunch, although he's got a budding career himself now, too. It's just so nice. I love the family affair aspect.
Yeah, that's one of the best things as well, too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice, I think, is to just do what you want to do, because there is not a ton of time, which, let me clarify, because that sounds super grim now that I hear that out loud. Life is short, and as you get older, you start to notice that you can't do the things that you wanted to do when you were younger. So if you don't do them when you're young, you're not going to do them. So do it now. Enjoy your life.
And of course, for some people, they say you only live once. So that's all I could say here. So.
Exactly. You know, depending on who you ask, you only live once. So
that's right. Yeah. Once again, Chelsey Carter, singer, songwriter, guitarist from the Boston, New England area in Nashville. And she has her debut, Nothing Better to Do, working on a second album. And a big thank you for your time, Chelsey. Looking forward to having you again soon. You've been fantastic. And before we go here, once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Yeah, so my new CD will be out hopefully this spring. It's 2020. And you can find me online, ChelseyCarter.com. My socials are just Chelsey Carter Music for Instagram and Facebook. I am not cool enough for Twitter. And my music is available anywhere. You can get hard copies of my CDs on my website, and you can also stream it anywhere online, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all the good stuff. So let me know what y'all think.
Sounds great, Chelsey. Thank you very much for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date, and looking forward to having you on again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.